Hi, I'm Allison Prior and I teach acrylic paintings for beginners and all levels, and today we are going to be painting with only a palette knife. We're going to do a full painting with a palette knife, and I already did this, and I did this one here. We're going to do this one here. Isn't that pretty? And all that is done with a palette knife, and look how much texture that you get from that palette knife. And I want to show you how to paint that today. So get your palette knives ready and let's get started. These are the palette knives that I like to use. I have several, but I'm going to get some new ones because you know they get pretty messed up, and sometimes I let the paint dry on them, and so they get kind of useless. But these are pretty good. They're just dirty, but they're pretty good. I got different sizes. I mean, you can use any of these, the metal ones, you can use the plastic ones. This is a nice shape here. This is great for mountains and anything, right? And you can get different sizes. So I have different sizes and different shapes on hand, so that way you can practice and you can see what kind of textures and how you're going to approach your painting with the different types and what kind of results you're going to get from each one. So let's get started again. So I'm just going to put these colors on my palette, which are the primary colors of red, yellow, and blue. So you'll always remember that. You say to yourself, what colors will I use today? What am I supposed to use? It's so much easier when you know, just use those three primary colors, red, yellow, and blue. And whatever brand you like the best. Today I'm using Liquid-X. And I have burnt umber, burnt sienna, and sap green, and my white. So make sure you use your three primary colors, and then any colors after that you can add to it, like sap green. You can make sap green, you can make burnt umber with your primary colors, but if you don't want to, that takes a little more time, then just put on your browns and your greens and whatever other colors you want. If you don't want to mix them yourself, purples, oranges, whatever you want to put on there. But make sure you do have your primary colors plus white, okay? And if you need black, you can add a bit of black also. So that'll be much easier. Get it on your palette there. All right. So today all we're going to do is use our palette knife. I am going to put on a background first with a brush. To be a lot faster, just to get that out of the way. Okay, I'm just going to put a blue background on there, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so you can put whatever color background on there, but because I'm using a sky and some water and things like that, I'm going to put just a blue background. That's it, a light blue. All right, let's do that. Now there we go. I put my blue background down there. So as you can see, I left a little bit of light, just didn't mix it totally blue. But if you do, that's fine. It's great. So you just have some color on there now so we can get started with our palette knife. So just use any synthetic brush to put on or any brush to put on your background. So let's start off with some clouds in the sky with our palette knife. Now you pick out whatever palette knife. I'll change from time to time so I can show you what the different ones do. They all do basically the same, and it depends on how you hold it. I'm left-handed, so this could be different for a right-handed person. So for clouds, I'm just going to add a little bit of shadow and get a little bit of shadow in there first. Okay, so you still have to do the basics, but you're going to get so much more texture. It's going to be amazing. You saw the painting I showed you in the beginning. So we're not going to do one exactly like that, but that's our idea, okay? So we'll just put clouds wherever we want them. Just take the tip of your palette knife and just make little circles on the tip. Now, if you don't have a tip, if you're using this one here, that has a tip, see? So you can still do that. So you can pick up some paint on your palette knife, just scrape it on there and make sure you get some paint on there, and just use the tip of your palette knife, see? Okay, just wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle. Look at that. Nice. It's a nice little cloud. This one actually works better than the other one. You have to experiment with them to see what works best. This one seems to really work nice. I like this. Yeah, look at that nice cloud over there. Isn't that nice? I hope you can see it. So I'll try the other palette knife again. This one here with the pointier tip. Let's see if I can get another cloud like that. Oh, yeah. Just move it around little circles, or just move it around like that. And you'll get a nice little cloud. And don't, you know, no need to fuss with it too much. Just let it happen. Okay? But I kind of like the other one. This one seems to be working better. See, when I did that other painting, I never used this palette knife. Let's see what else we got here. How about this? So if you're right-handed, you're going to be, you know, it's basically the same technique. If you're right-handed, you just put it on the tip and move your palette knife around. That's all. Same thing. There's no difference if it's that or that, right? So that or that. All right? So just pick it, just take the palette knife and move it around. Move it around. That's all. Nice. A little bit more shadow in there. I'm just picking up some red and blue to darken up my color. See? Good. If you get too much paint on it, you can scrape it off here and then pick it up again, okay? So we'll go with some shadow and just move it around. Don't worry if, like, you'll probably go, oh, that's, slip that one, oh, that's, you know, making a mess, I'm making a mess. But you're not really. You're just creating shapes, because clouds are all kinds of shapes. You don't have to be perfect. So not to worry. Just put on whatever happens. Just let it happen. There we go. Just let it happen. See? I am trying. Yes, I'm trying to get it to come off nice and everything. So you still have to try. You can't just be sloppy and hope for the best. Don't do that. But try to create in your mind a cloud and let it come out on the canvas. Okay? Create it in your mind. Let it come out on the canvas. There we go. Nice little clouds. Not bad. Not bad. So I'm going to try my other one now. Keep lots of tissue around so you can always wipe off your... This is pretty messy looking, but, you know, it gets a lot of use. I don't do a lot of palette knife paintings, but when I do use them, I make a mess. So it depends on how much you want to put on there. So I'm just going to put on, you can even scrape it on like that, right? Look, see? Just scrape it on like that. Just turn your palette knife to the side, and then you can just scrape on a nice long floating cloud. Now that's more of a shadow. Now I made a mess there. That's no big deal. I'm not even going to worry about it. And then I'm going to put some on top. Just lay some white on top of that shadow. Right? Just with the tip of my palette knife. Right? Look at that. Look at the texture you're going to get though. I mean, this is... It makes your paintings almost look abstract, and it just gives all this texture that you cannot get with a brush. It's impossible. You know, depending on the brush. If you use a really hard bristle brush, you might get something. But I'm going to lay some shadow underneath here and here. So just play around with them. If you like what you already have done, don't worry about going back with shadows and stuff. But shadows really bring them out more. Makes them stand out, see? But you put the shadow underneath it, okay, all the time. There we go. A little bit of shadow. I got a bit of brown in there by accident, so don't do that if you can help it. That's the thing when you're using a small palette. So if you have a bigger square one or something, that'd probably work better for you, okay? Alright, so that's fine. Look at that. That's fine. I'll just scrape on some white. Now I'm going to show you that you should always have your tissue handy, okay? Have your tissue handy so that if you do get some dark on it, or you want to change from light to dark or dark to light, you can just wipe it off like that. And then you can go ahead and put on, like I want to put more white on there because I messed it up a little bit. But I'm just going to take that and scrape it across and see what comes out. Nice. Just going to clean off my, it's just like cleaning off my palette knife. And all these nice little textured clouds come out. See, look. So these are just simple little clouds. And I want to brighten up this one up here. I got lots of paint on my tip of my brush there. If I say brush from time to time, it's because I'm so used to using a brush. So it's a palette knife we're working with. You won't see me using a brush anymore now after, through this, okay? Because I don't want to confuse you, all right? I don't want to be adding brushes and then that will confuse you. We want to do a palette knife painting today and stay away from brushes for today. And guys, if you decide to do this, it's so relaxing because you don't have to worry about it being perfect. You don't want it to be perfect. You want all kinds of textures and different shapes. So that's the fun part about this. So you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong no matter what. Even if you try, you can't, because, you know, as long as you get shapes, you know, get your shapes and then just fill it in with whatever colors you use, and you can't really go wrong. So I'm just going to make a mountain or some kind of a hill or something. Some of those mountains that you've seen. I'm just going to put some burnt umber and blue together. Some of the dark colors and some green. Just to have a dark color. See how dark that color is? Look. Blue and brown, burnt umber. If you don't have burnt umber, just get brown and add black to it. That will really darken up for you. So just get a really dark color. Look. Okay? And put that on the edge of your, just the whole back of your palette knife. Just put on the whole back of your palette knife. Yeah, that'll be fine. And then you're going to make some hills. So let's decide where the horizon line is, probably down here somewhere. Let's just kind of make a little line here. I don't know. Out here somewhere. All right. And now we fill up your palette knife and let's make some kind of hills. So just take the back of your palette knife and sort of go up and down and around. Whoops. And down. Maybe a little point there. You know, if you want to make a point, you could probably take that like that and then come on down this way. All right. And then fill it up again. So make a point if you want to make pointy ones. Just touch, and then you can fill it in after. Okay? Little round ones, you just can go boink and go up and down. If you want to point, you can take see the edge of the palette knife there. Just take that and just touch and then leave it, and then you can come down like that. Then see? That way you get your nice pointy. See, already it looks kind of nice, doesn't it? Look at that. Might even just flip up a few little. Right? You can do whatever you want. See? I love this palette. Oh my God. Palette painting. Look. Just look. I get excited, don't I? Can't help it. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. You can't get this with a brush. This palette knife and brushes are two different, way different tools to use in your paintings. Way different. Some people, you can also use sponges. You see other videos now, they're using all kinds of things, right? But depends on what you want to get. I love the palette knife because you can see, and I'm just touching the corner, and that way I get that little edge, see? Now, what do I want to do over here? I'm just going to make a shape. There we go. That's good enough. And I'll close it up together and fill it in. Well, guys, I hope you try this. I think you're going to have a lot of fun. Just get a palette knife. You should have some. Usually when you go out and buy the brushes and things like that, you normally, some of them come with palette knives, right? I'm going too far down. That's okay. I'm not worried. So I'm just picking it up on the edge of my knife here like this, and then I'm just scraping it on that corner, and I'm pulling it down. I'm just scraping it on. See? Lovely. Already it looks really nice, doesn't it? So you can just play with it and just relax and just go, oh yeah, that's nice, you know, like that. Fix that up in here. And you have more control over the palette knife than a brush kind of tries to control you. But with a palette knife, you have total control. You're the one that's in charge now. Look at that. Isn't that nice? I like it. Now, if you change palette knives, make sure you just wipe it off, okay? Don't have to be washing it all the time. Just wipe it off with some tissue, and then you're back to being able to use it again next time, okay? So I'm going to switch to this one just so I can show you the different ones that you can use. So I'll try this for a few minutes. And what I'm going to do is, what am I going to do? Let's see. Let's put on maybe some yellow. Just something at the foothills, they call them. And some burnt sienna. And a little bit of red. And then we'll just put that. So you can put a bit of roll on your. I don't have the proper. I need a bigger palette, which I may get later on if I decide. But I don't. I just like to play with what I have here. So if you want to do a roll of paint, just pick up some like that, or you can just pick it up and fill up that side of your. You can just fill it up because you don't want to make it too complicated. So we'll put something here just to have it here. So you can just take it and go across. Alright. Pick up some more. Make sure you got lots of it on your palette knife. That's the trick, I find. The trick is keeping, see all that paint? I don't have too much on the other side because I'm not using the other side right now. But if you're right-handed, you'll do the same thing I'm doing. You'll just touch and pull over. Okay? So whether you're right-handed or left-handed, it doesn't matter. Alright. So I'm just going to pull it over. Just to get something there. I'm going to pull it out a little bit. Just pull it out, down towards diagonal. And that'll give it kind of like a little, and pull it over, right? Nice. And I'm going to add a little bit of white to brighten it up a little bit so you can see it. So always add white last. I find, and as long as your paint is wet, I find when you do put on your colors first, then add your white after while the paint is wet, and that'll give you even more texture. And it'll brighten it up at the same time. Let's watch. I mean, it changes it. Look. Look. See? I left it open. I just want to see if I can, I don't know. Just want to have a little bit here, but I don't want to go overboard. So I want to save some room for other things I want to show you. It looks so pretty already. Isn't that nice? So, now I'm going to switch to another one for you so I can show you the different things. They're all basic. They got different shapes, but they're all basically the same. You know, as long as you got that knife edge, see? That nice sharp edge, and it's really, tight. It's really stiff so that you're not like a brush. It moves around a lot. I mean, it's really, really good for all the things that you love to do. So I don't have my water as dark as I did in the other one, so I'm just going to leave that for now, and I'm going to put a little beach or something here so I can show you how to put the rocks in. So with this one here, I'm always starting with the corner of my brush. There we go again. I'm always starting with the corner of my, so if you're right-handed, you might be doing the opposite side of me, okay? So I got the brown, and I'm going to add some yellow. And I'm going to add some red. Now I'm going to take that and I'm going to get a beach. Somewhere I'm going to put a beach. So I'll probably put it here somewhere. But look at that. You just put your palette knife touch on that corner, that sharp edge, and then you just lay it down and pull across. Okay, so you can practice and see what comes out. Just pick up lots and lots, see? Lots. The more you pick up, the better. Alright, that way you can spread it out faster and you can get some really nice textures. There we go. You can add some dark to that if you want to, some more red, some more yellow, right? Turned a little bit green there because I added those colors together, but that's fine. I want lots of colors, okay? That's the beauty of palette painting, palette knife painting. Make sure you got lots of colors. Maybe a little more unusual than if you were doing a regular realistic painting. That way you'll get more of a sort of an abstract look to your painting with all the textures. And when people see it, they don't know you're using a palette knife. They go, how did you do that? How did you get all those textures? How did you get all that to look so, you know, so many things going on there? And, you know, just, you know how you did it. And you can explain it. And when you get good enough, you can teach it. When you feel confident, I should say. Because nobody ever feels like they're good enough for any, you know, for starting out teaching. I mean, I never thought in the world I would be teaching, or I'd be doing YouTube videos back when I started. Never in a million years did I think that I was going to be capable enough of teaching, or showing people different techniques, and you know. So we're going to go with the yellow and the brown and that. There we go. Good. Keep going. Put it on. See, you need lots. The thing is with the palette knife is you do use more paint than you would if you were using a brush and magic white. But I'm not using any magic white today or anything like that because the paint is going to stay wet because I'm using a lot of it. It won't stay wet as long now if I was using magic white. But I don't want to... you decide when you want to use magic white. We've talked about that in my other videos. I'll leave the link to the magic white so you know how to make it. And if you want to decide to use it, it's mostly for blending colors. But because this palette knife is picking up so much paint, you will get to blend it before it dries. Okay, so now down here, as you can see, I'm struggling a little bit because the palette knife is a bit too big for this area. If I was doing a 16 by 20 canvas, that would be better. But this one is I think it's a 12 by 12. So I'm just going to, so what I do there is I will change my palette knife. Now I'll paint the whole painting with just one palette knife. I'm only doing this to show you what palette knives can do. So I'm just going to go with a smaller pointy one like that. And I'm going to pick up my white now because I want to lighten this up a bit, okay? And so I'm just going to put that in there. Look at this. Oh my, isn't that gorgeous? Look. Look. Wow. Look at that texture. Look at that. Beautiful. Amazing. Because it's all wet, you can do that, okay? So like I said, with palette knife painting, add your white because it's going to mix in. It's not going to be pure white, so it's going to mix in with the wet colors. You're working wet on wet, and you add your white last so you can get those other colors on first. That way you get lots of shadows and different colors going on there, okay? Knife painting and painting with a brush, like I said, are two different things. Completely different. But look at that beach. Wow. Look at, I mean, just look at all the different textures. And it's amazing. Now you can wait for that to dry, or you can add some rocks on top of that if you like. Okay. I think I'm going to clean off my brush because I want to get my darks on first. Get your darks on first, and then you add the white after to blend them with. See, that's how you got that. See? So we're going to need black. So you can use black, or you can make your own by putting burnt umber and blue. And what else? Maybe a bit of red. I want to make a really dark, almost a black color. Would you believe that red? Look, see how dark that's turning? You think it would turn red, wouldn't you? But it don't. It's just the blue and the burnt umber and the red, even green, you can add. And it'll stay really, really dark. Look at that. But it'll just give different, you get these little bits of green and red and blues. But look how dark, isn't that gorgeous? So we're going to fill up our brush like that. And then we're just going to make some humps. I'm going to make some rocks, alright? So I'm going to make some humps. I'm not going to worry about the shape too much. I'm just going to put it on there. As long as I got a hump, you're okay, okay? Okay. So, you can even just touch and you get a rock, see? Just touch, you get a rock. Look at that. Just touch. Touch, 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 touch. Rock. Amazing. It's amazing. I'm just going to go up here and move it down. I got a really nice rock already. Look at that. See that? So, I'll make that one a little bit bigger, I think. And because I'm putting lots of paint on, I don't have to worry about it drying too fast. So I might move I'll put my palette knife there and I'll just tap at it, get that paint on there. Get that shape that I'm looking for. And I'll flip it around because there's more paint on the front too, besides the back. Look at that nice rock. I'm going to add some more rocks, just some tiny ones. Touch, touch, touch. So there. Just tap, 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 and you'll get a nice little rock, okay? Now, we don't want a big load of rocks, but I just want to put them in to show them to you, that's all. So I'm going to wipe off my palette knife, and I'll switch to maybe this one, this longer one, okay? So I'll switch every now and then when you do that, you can pick your favorite one and stick to it, okay? So because the paint is wet, I'm just going to use only white for now. Actually, I'm going to use white and yellow. I think that'd be nice. We'll see. I might change. I might add more stuff. Start at the top and just pull down. Yeah, nice. Look at that. See, the colors are mixing in with it, right? So I might even add a little bit of red just to give it some color. Start at the top and pull forward. Don't worry about being perfect. Just let the palette knife do its job. Start at the top and pull down. Alright. Isn't that cool? See the shapes we're getting out of that? See the shapes we're getting? So I'm just mixing up. I'm just picking some nice brighter colors just to lay out. I may even make a little bit of burnt sienna, but white is important. And then you can add that wherever you want it. A little bit here maybe. And see how much control you have now? Look, see? Just start at the top and pull down. Pull either way. Depend on decide where the light is coming in. So let's say it's coming in from the right. So let's see if we can get more light on the right side. Right, there we go. Just touching. See this over here, look, just pull down. Just use your white. Pull down. Pull down. Now if you're getting too much dark color on it, wipe it off. And go in with yellow if you want. Yellow or white. Then you can add a little more. Even a little more, but a little more color. If you want to add a little more colors, add red, white, and yellow. Orange is always a really nice color. And also blue. Blue and white also gives it like a watery look, like just water coming up over your rocks. Right? Add a little bit of blue here and there. A little bit of blue and white. That will make it look like just water. So when we get our water down there, that's nice, isn't it? Look at that texture. Let's work on the mountains, and what we're going to do is I'm going to change back to my favorite one, which is this one. I don't know, I just find it easier to use. So I'm going to add some color to these mountains, and I want to see if it's still wet. I'm going to make some squiggly lines just so I can get the shapes of the mountains. Just going to make some squiggly lines with my tip of my palette knife. So you make squiggly lines. That will help you stay on the side that you're looking to stay on. So we're going to add, so for the mountains, we're just going to add some color. So I'm mixing up some whatever colors I have here. But it got to be brighter than the mountain itself, right? So you can put it on, if you're right-handed, you can put it on, you'll have it on the other side, and then you touch and pull down. Or if you're left-handed, you can touch and pull down, just pull down like that. And if you lose your shadows, we can put them back. So we'll just go all the way down here and just follow that squiggly line to help you. I get that much on, just go back in and get a bit of white. Just let it happen. Don't scrape too hard when you're, at times you can scrape, put pressure on, and other times if you're trying to get it to separate, you don't want to lose the underpainting, then just gently as you can, put on that outer layer. Look at that already, isn't that pretty? Let's try some more. I'm just going to pick up some yellow, a bit of red, whatever colors you want. Alright, a little bit of blue, I don't know. And let's go over here. Start at the top. I always start at the top. I find that easier. You can just pull it down. If you're not used to a palette knife, you will get used to it after this. I don't use it very often either, so I'm not winging it because I know a little bit about, but I'm not doing it the way, you know, other artists do it. You know, and besides, if you see an artist with, like Bob Ross, right? So when you see here, he's using oil paints, and oils stick better to your canvas, and acrylics are they're not as thick. Now you can get mediums to thicken up I have them here. Maybe I should use some just to show you. So you can thicken up your paint to almost make it stand up. You can use some modeling paste, or I'll see what I got there. Now that might help you. So we got this going on here. Nice, hey? I have some modeling paste here, so we can add that to our palette, just to have it there. So here it is here. So I'm going to add that to, I'll just put that on my, I'm going to just put that on my palette knife. And you can either put it on first or just mix some paint in. But look, that really is nice. Look at that. So you can thicken up your paint by doing that. Alright. And then you can add color over it. Some yellow and red, burnt sienna, and some modeling paste. So just mix there your burnt sienna, your yellow, throw in some modeling paste, thicken it up. See, that thicken makes it stand up, look. And more yellow, maybe some white. That really makes it stand up, okay? So I'm just going to scrape that on my, look at the mess I got there. Isn't that wonderful? I'm going to try this one over here. Oh yeah, that's nice. That really works nice and really makes it easier to work with. But either way, you know, you'll be able to work with it. So just dabble it on there. Dabble it on. You can use the top also. Now that you got it on, go into your white. Your white will go last, even though you might mix it in with some of your paint, but for the last bit, just put it on like that. Just put it on just the white itself. Even if your palette knife is dirty, it's okay. I know you're probably asking questions. I can almost hear you. I'm so used to people asking questions, I can sense that you're like, but do I clean my palette knife? Like, what do I do? So I understand. So I'll try my best not to forget to leave things out, right? So that's that. And we want to do the back. The back's nice and shadowy, but we're going to add a little more shadow. And get your tissue so you can wipe off your palette knife. Alright, so get your palette knife, clean it off, because now you want to change colors, okay? And you can, I can use the bigger one here. It's cleaner. And I'll just use a different palette knife just to show you. Maybe I should use this one. Maybe I'll use this one because this one is the one that Bob Ross uses, right? That's the shape that he uses. So I'm going to go with some blue and some white. So I'm going to get some blue and white. More blue than white, okay? Just so it'll be a nice shadow. And then I'm going to come down here and put that in the back. See, even the dark color that you had there, that'll come through. All right? I can decide what I'm going to do with that one there. Okay, and just put on your blue. And this will be a lot of fun, I promise. It's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to sit there, and you're the one that's in control. You're not going to believe what you can do. And how much fun you can have without making, like, you can't, I shouldn't say you can't fool up, but you know what? If you do, you can make an abstract out of it. The only important thing you want to do is get the shapes. If you can get the shapes, then you'll have a nice, you know, your mountains will be nice and things will be nice because you know it's a mountain. So if you don't get the shape, then it's probably going to, you know, you won't know what it is. But that's what abstracts are, you know. Sometimes abstracts are, you don't know what it is, but it still looks nice because of the colors. Colors, big factor. You know, you look at paint, go into art galleries and see paintings, and it's the color that draws your eye to it, right? It is, isn't it? No matter what it is, it can be a blob of colors, and you're like, oh my God, that's amazing, right? So I'm just going to clean up that edge. I messed up a little bit there. See, I say to you, we can't mess it up. Well, it's not really a mess up. It's just something I want to correct. I don't even have to correct that if I don't want to. I can leave it as it is. But us artists, we always want to make sure everything is the way we want it. And that's a good thing. There's nothing wrong with that. Bring that back more if you want to. You can make that squiggly line come back even more. See? And then you can fill it in here. Alright. There we go. Just using the tip of my, because it's a bit too big, I'm just using the tip, right? Sort of playing around with the colors to see what they're going to come out like. Yeah, that's nice. Nothing wrong with that. Bring it back a bit so it won't look so, like this one here too. It seems like it's too much in the back. And this is the beauty. You can change it any way you want as you go along. Right? You can make it come back further if you want. Put on your dark color, then come on with some white. And that'll bring it out more again. You can bring those down here a little bit more if you want. You know? Just use the very tip of your, that'll make it easier for you. Okay, so you can play around with this. Put whatever colors you want on there. And this here, I'm not sure. I might put a little bit on the tip there. Kind of like the different shapes. Isn't that nice? Maybe I'll make that come out a little bit more here. See? So you can fix it up after you get it. You feel like you got most of it done. Then you can go back and change up a few things, right? And that's it. Now if you're happy with that, you leave it alone. Alright? And it doesn't have to be perfectly smooth. It's just that roughness. It's the roughness that makes it so nice. Now what to do with the water, because we don't want it to, it's nice the way it is, but I'm just wondering, because we want to get those kind of, just pick up some of that color used in the mountain there with some white. Just kind of, let's see what we can do here now. Maybe we'll pull down some. Maybe we'll pull it down. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Why not? There we go. If it's not wet anymore, just put some color on there and pull it down. Pick up some color. Let me get some more. Let's get more than that. Let's really go for it. Nice. Nice. I like that better. See, you can play with, experiment with it, you know. A little bit that peak there, right? So that's nice and high. So you want to add more. Now, that's okay, isn't it? That is fine as kind. So I'm just going to wipe off my brush. Ah, brush. That is not a brush. That is a palette knife. So let's see. I got a big long one here. Let's try that. I don't know what shapes you got, but try it, you know. Pick out the one that you like best. You don't have to use the same one all the time. I'm not using any modeling paste now. So I'm going to go over this. I'm going to put that on the back, white on the back of there. Okay, I'm putting white on here. And I'm just going to pull over some of these lines, because these lines will make it look like it's underwater. See? See? Makes it look like it's underwater. Right? Might just pull them down a little bit just to, so they won't be too straight. I don't want them too straight. Some lines over what you did, and here. Okay. I should be cleaning off my palette knife better. There we go. That's cleaner now. And now my paint's getting pretty mixed up there, but right now I'm just going to put on more water lines. The other painting I did there, I had more, I started with some really dark. There we go. That makes it, you know. So maybe there's some water coming up on the beach. So let's get some more white paint. I'm going to go back to this palette knife, because this one and this one in different sizes are my favorite. Okay, so these two. Alright, these other ones, that one there's not bad. It's nice and long if I need to use it. That one there, not, you know, it's okay. So they're my favorite, and that's a nice one there too, okay? Right, but that's a little big for what I want to use. So you got to get the size to your canvas also. So right now I want to make a little bit of water coming up on the beach. So I'm just putting a little bit of blue with my white. I don't want too much. And just stuck a little bit of blue there, and I'm going to pick that up on my knife and hope for the best. So there's my paint. I'm just going to go on the edge here as if the water is just kind of coming in around the beach area. I have to lay it down. Alright, I need more paint. See, lots of it there. all I'm doing is dragging it along the edge of that beach there. I'm trying to get those little edges of paint. Go back this way because I got paint on the other side. Okay, it's coming along. It's not what I want yet. So, because the water is still, so it's not really moving very much. But we can make it move a little bit, right? We can make it move by going outside here and just make it like... You're going to have to reload a lot, okay? You have to reload. And like I say, doing palette knife paintings are using up more paint. I'm picking up some of the... This is still wet. You need to wait for that to dry if you want. That's why it's getting into my paint here, so... I'm not going to worry too much. I'm enjoying it. I'm not going to go, oh no, I don't really care. It looks fantastic. I love it. I don't know if you do. I mean, I could be just me. But I just love it. I just can't help it. I'm addicted to painting and having fun with my paintings. Now, I don't want to go overboard because I'm only going to ruin it, aren't I? But I wanted to make it look like it is moving around the beach area. That's coming up to the beach. So it must be moving from somewhere. Get something in here, look. I forgot to put some water lines there because you need that water line there too. Alright. So I think that looks like it's, you know, it's moving a little bit. I'm just dipping into my paint, right? Because you need to get paint on there. Maybe it's a little bit, you know, moving around here. So I think, yeah, just keep adding a little bit of paint here and there. Just use the very edge of your brush so that you don't get, you know, too much white on there. If you do, go back in with blue. Kind of moving, and probably came back from back here somewhere, you know, it might be a little river or something going on up here, maybe from back over the hills somewhere. So maybe we'll get a little more paint up here, and it's probably moving down a little bit through here, and here I am making a mess. That's okay. It's okay. Hiding behind here somewhere. It's coming from back there. I want it to come from somewhere, you know? Make it look, even though it's more of an abstract type, I still want it to see. I want to get more white paint on there because I'm picking up some of that brown. Probably add a little bit of blue just to give it a little bit of shadows and stuff going on. Alright. Now you might say, you're making a mess. I'm doing this on purpose so I can get some shadows, okay? Just trying to get some shadows. And I might have to wait for it to dry to get the paint over there. But yeah, I do want some shadows. So you do the same. Just have some fun with it. Don't have to be like mine. Don't have to be shadows. You could leave it just plain if you wanted to and have nothing, just a beach. And a little bit of water coming up on the beach. You don't have to do all this, alright? So, but I want to show you, you know, how much fun it is. It is so much fun, isn't it? It's almost like a little waterfall. Look at that. I didn't even mean to do that. It was a happy accident. Oh, that's cool. That's a happy accident. A little waterfall in the background there coming into the little lake or something that's there. Nice. I surprised myself that time. Now I don't really need to do much more with this. You can certainly do whatever you want with it, okay? So you got your little rocks here. You can probably put some pebbles on there if you want by taking maybe a toothbrush and putting water on it, okay, on your toothbrush. Tap it off a little bit so it won't be too wet. And pick up some, let's see, some white for some white pebbles. And just flick them on there. You know, just some white maybe. or you can also pick up your blue and white on your, and make it look like there's water coming up on the beach, which we already did here, but you can also add a little bit more, right? There's a little bit of water coming up on the beach here like this, under the rocks, right? Add more water if you want to. Probably move it over a little bit by the rocks. It's not really heavy flowing water, it's just kind of moving. You want to add a little bit of water coming in. So the blue and the white makes it look like water on the beach, okay? And up by your rocks. So, and make sure your rocks got a bottom to them. Don't leave them messy on the bottom. Alright, so just add some blue and white underneath your rocks, just to show that maybe just some water's creeped in under the rocks there. And the rocks are sitting there on the beach. And if that's too blue, just go and get some white. Okay, just move it around like that. That's all. Just that way it won't look like there's a big blob there or something. Okay. So that's kind of nice. So if you lost some of your beach, go back in with your brown and white and yellows and whatever, and you can add more back here. You know, you can add more of your beach color back in if you want. And then you can add white on top of it just to give it that extra little booster shot. All right. I don't think there's much more. I mean, you can do lots more with it if you want. Now, that's a pretty little painting, isn't it? I'm kind of wish I had to make the mountains a little bigger or the sky a little lower, but it's nice. You can always add a little bird or something up there. Maybe, I don't know, let's see. Maybe probably some seagulls or something, and just put a little something like that. Just use the very tip, okay? And then you can probably add a couple little dots to make it look like just some faraway ones. Just make the letter V. I made that one upside down, but that's okay. So maybe it's turned around or something. Or just some little birds or something, you know, just pretty far away, so you can't really see them that much. There we go, that's a nice one. Far away one. Nice. Maybe it's, I don't know, maybe I better stop. Okay. And then what you can do is take a bit of white and add it to the tip of the wing. Now if my hand would stay still, I'd be able to do that. But my hand is in an awkward position and it makes a shake. A little bit of white on the tips of their wings. Make them look like seagulls. And the other way around, you can make it white and then black on the tips. Okay. So because my hand was shaking, I can't get that on there. That's okay. You get my drift, right? I'm not going to worry about it too much. Alright, so I think that's it. I think that's it. We didn't use a brush. We only put a background on. We had to get that on. So you need a nice smooth background just so you can have. But I think that's nice. I really like it. I hope you guys like it too. You can have more rocks on the beach. You can have somebody standing there. You can have whatever you want. A tree, whatever you want. But look how pretty it came out. We got to do more palette paintings. So we got to do more palette knife paintings. And I will. And give me some suggestions and let's give it a try. I think it might be easier to do landscapes and seascapes and flowers. Okay? So give me some ideas and I will do my best to do them for you. And yeah, let me know in the comments section if you liked it and if you're going to give it a try. I'd love to see it. If you do a painting with a palette knife, please send it to me at allisonprior@yahoo.com. I'd love to see it. And that's about it for now. So I hope you enjoyed this painting and I hope you learned a lot from it. And I will see you in the next video. Bye. Well, thank you so much for painting along with me. And today we did this beautiful painting. And I hope that you learned a lot how to use a palette knife. And you can see all the texture you can get. So I'd love for you to let me know that you did a painting, and email allisonprior@yahoo.com so I can see your beautiful paintings. And I want to know if you are learning some new techniques, and that way you can give me suggestions on what else you'd like to see. So just subscribe so you can get more videos, and so you can, we can communicate. And if you would give me a like, that will help me get more videos out there. It'll help me get more views so I can get my videos out to other people. And if you share, that would be even great. So I really appreciate all your help, guys. You're doing wonderful. I thank you for my patrons, and you guys even just watching, and just watching my video helps my YouTube channel grow. Okay, so you're helping a lot. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and I'd love to hear from you in the comments. So you guys go and have a great day.